You ever feel that rush of panic right after you hit that post button on your latest social media post? Or that wave of self-doubt and self-loathing when you compare yourself to all the perfect images and perfect lives you see on your feed? Have you ever considered why this twists your stomach into knots, causes anxiety, makes you self-conscious, makes you jealous, makes you anxious, makes you feel bad, all those unpleasant emotions? Do you want to know how to set yourself free from this madness? The main reason I no longer have social media is because of these things. I always thought there was something about me. I always thought that I needed a better post. I needed a better image, or that I was either better than or worse than all the people I saw on my feed. Constantly comparing myself. Better, worse, just as good. Blah, 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 blah. Craziness. So we are going to dive in this video to how you can set yourself free from this. We're going to use an approach called compassionate inquiry, which was made famous by Dr. Gabor Mate. It's not his unique idea. He made this approach and this protocol quite famous. And if you haven't seen it, I have a one-on-one video with him here. Check it out. You'll probably find it quite useful. So compassionate inquiry, and how can you bring that to this relationship you have with social media? So we're going to learn some practical tips and tools that you can bring to your awareness when interacting with social media. Or just delete it altogether, cancel the profiles, let it go, free yourself from the madness. If that's not your option, if you want to keep using social media in a healthier way, then keep going. Either way, you'll probably find this helpful. My name is Mike Stroh. This is the Starts With Me channel. I hope you find this video helpful. You'll often hear the rationalizations or the excuses made for social media. It connects us to people. We see funny videos. We see things we like. It connects us to the world. It's all bullshit, in my opinion. That's the lie, the self-deception, the denial, the don't even notice I am lying stories we tell ourselves and each other to perpetuate social media use and really to prevent any significant changes and alternatives that we could come up with together. So let's brush aside that bullshit story that it connects us, and let's actually focus on what it's doing to us. It's making us insecure. It's making us divided. It's making us angry. It's making us more biased and blind to the complexities of humanity, the reality of people's situations. We're reacting to asynchronous images and little clips of realities that we're so disconnected from, and the context and the nuance of that is completely missing. One of the main sources of social media anxiety is the need to have some perfect online persona. It's all an act. It's all a big bunch of bullshit. And so many of us get sucked into it. I know I did a little bit. Again, I wasn't trying to be perfect or pretend I wasn't who I was, but I was constantly thinking, am I doing it right? What, blah, blah, blah. So you can't escape that little sociometer in your mind that's constantly evaluating and judging whether or not you're doing it right. Okay, this overthinking, this need to get your posts right and have everybody think you're cool and having a great life can often lead to feeling lonely, isolated, depressed, withdrawn, agitated, not good. So social media in its nature is in conflict with our self-perception. It can't be harmonious. Even those of you who are super honest and authentic, okay, you can't stop the brain from doing what brains do, and that's judging and worrying and projecting and comparing and all that kind of stuff. That's going to happen. So if you want to stay on social media, accept that that's going to happen and see if you can catch yourself when you're in this comparison game, or when you're ruminating and thinking nonstop about your posts and what you need to do next and how you compare and blah, blah, blah. So you either accept that as the reality, try to create some softness and curiosity, which might be one of the core components of compassionate inquiry. What is this unpleasant emotion I'm feeling? I don't like this. What's this about? What feelings am I having in this moment? Can you have some open curiosity to it? Because social media algorithms are designed to keep us scrolling. Again, we're in that constant comparison game. And often what happens, again, as I mentioned, is I'm better than, I'm worse than. I'm just as normal as, I'm worse, I'm better, I'm worse, blah, blah. And you're all over the place, okay? It's crazy. Totally crazy. It's an avoidance tactic. It's a way to not do things that are more important, that actually probably would be helpful for you. It's disconnecting you from what matters in your life, clearly. So as I mentioned before, compassionate inquiry was popularized by Dr. Gabor Mate. I think it is highly related or very similar to mindful self-compassion created by Christian Neff and Chris Germer, something I practice a heck of a lot personally, but also as a therapist in my practice. And we're going to outline some of those principles right now. I already mentioned it a little bit, but point A, or one of the points, is to examine or to notice our emotions with open curiosity. Again, what is that thing I'm feeling right now? It's not very pleasant. Another point is to ask thoughtful, non-judgmental questions, right? I wonder why when I see that person's post, it makes me feel self-conscious or ugly or fat or like a loser or a wussy or poor or not good enough. I wonder where that comes from. Where is that insecurity coming from? Or if it's a character assassination thing, I'm better than that person. They're a loser. They're not as good as me. If only I had this thing, then I could do it better. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. There's that narrative that comes up in me and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not good for me. I feel the tension in my chest. Okay. So that's that curious, compassionate inquiry. What is happening in this moment? So to use compassionate inquiry or self-compassion for your social media troubles or anxiety, let's start with that specific question. Why do I feel anxious in this moment? I'm about to post and I feel unpleasant, or I just posted and I'm thinking about, are people going to like it? Do they like me? Will I get likes? Will I get blah, 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 all that. Notice that. There's a saying, name it to tame it, feel it to heal it. So name the emotion. I feel it in my chest, and perhaps take a deep breath. Okay, another question might be, what are my intentions behind this post? What are my intentions for this scrolling that I can't stop doing? What am I trying to get out of this? What purpose is this serving right now? Okay, when you have that insight, you get a little bit of awareness. I'm posting this because I want to share a wonderful moment with others. Do you really want that? Or do you just want another pat on the back? Do you just want a little validation? And again, this validation will not come from the social media post. You'll get a ting or a pang or a little tiny boost of unsustainable self-esteem, and then it goes away. And you just back where you started or worse. Or you feel morally superior or grandiose for a little while, and that evaporates too. So what's the intention? What am I trying to get out of this? Or what am I trying to avoid? And then that open, curious, non-judgmental awareness. Maybe it's because I feel badly about myself, or maybe I need a hug, or maybe I need to get my ass in gear and be a bit more productive, work a little harder, be a better version of myself. And I'm trying to pacify that insecurity through. Okay, so with that self-compassion or with that compassionate inquiry, you might ask yourself, what is a better thing for me to do here? Do I need to set a boundary? Do I need to delete this app from my phone? Do I need to find some other source of validation to provide me with the thing I think I'm going to get from the social media? Can I find that elsewhere? And simply in the naming and the acknowledgement and the recognition of this yearning, this desire for validation or to feel good about oneself or better than others, just in that recognition of that, there tends to be some healing right there, which is quite lovely. Okay, the next thing I want you to practice with would be setting intentions. What do you want out of your life? Do you want to feel good about yourself? Or generally, do you want to be more contented and at ease? And if the answer is yes, chances are social media is not contributing to that. So notice all the rationalizations, the minimizations, and the justifications you make for using social media. Or perhaps notice what other people say. Don't judge them or point the fingers, but just notice. That will give you insight into the lies and the denial that you feed yourself over these things. So you recognize that. And maybe the answer is, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, I want to get away from this. Maybe you could experiment with a social media detox. Take a month off, take a week off, take an hour off. I don't know how much you're on there, but take some time off and notice what happens. You could check my dopamine detox video here. You might find some useful tips there. Okay, in that break, you may then start to consider, do I want to re-engage with the social media? What did I learn about myself? What did I get from this compassion here? Can I put it to use? Maybe the answer is yes. If the answer is yes, go back on there, see if you have a different relationship, and see if that anxiety and worry and constant evaluation shifts at all. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. For me, I know that it didn't bother me so much anymore, but I just became more and more aware that it wasn't serving me in any way. And my attention and energy was much more useful doing other things like making this video. It's been 3 years since I've opened a social media app or used a social media app. If you consider YouTube social media, sure. I do not. It's a form of it, perhaps. Anyway, so I feel joyous and free that I'm not engaged with that nonsense anymore. So that is really up to you. What do you want? Is this serving you? Can you have some curious, compassionate, non-judgmental inquiries into your own relationship to this, into your reaction to posts, into your self-critical evaluation of yourself and other people? Decide from there. Social media does not need to be a competition, source of anxiety, of comparing yourself to others and all that jazz. If you can engage with it in that way, good for you. May the force be with you. Go forth. If you are aware of your problematic relationship to all this stuff, you know it's not good for you and it's wasting your time and energy. I invite you, I implore you, I wish for you to rid yourself of this toxic cancer and move on to better endeavors. Find other ways of enjoying your time and spending your time. And let me know about it in the comment sections. Please, I love hearing from people. I love hearing comments, getting great ideas and insights from people. So please like this video. Share this with someone who you think might find it helpful. I wish you all the best. Take it easy. Peace out. I am very grateful that you watched to the end of this video. Please click one of the boxes to watch more of our content. And otherwise, have a great day. Peace out.